Have you ever been to the moon? I guess not. Then this video game is about a moon colony where everything goes wrong and the robots or I in the colony starts acting strange and you have to fight through to survive. Routine. This game survived a brutal 13-year development hell, but Lunar Software finally dropped it, and it doesn't just live up to the hype, it crawls under your skin and stays there. In this video, I'm breaking down what happened to the moon colony and all the mysteries, the horror, and the mind-bending revelations that make routine a narrative experience you won't forget. So stick around as we explore what happened on that doomed lunar base. So let's jump in. You're given a device called the CAAT, the Cosmonaut Assistance Tool. Think of it as part flashlight, part multi-tool, and part camera. This device becomes your lifeline for interacting with the facility's electronic systems and, more importantly, for uncovering what actually happened here. As you navigate deeper into area, you start finding clues scattered throughout the base: emails, handwritten notes, audio logs, and diary entries. Through these fragments, the story begins to piece itself together, and it's absolutely nightmarish. A catastrophe has unfolded, and you're walking through its aftermath.
We started this journey together, chasing the unknown, seeking what we could not see. But now, we're lost.
Firstly, I would like to say the game looks stunning and smooth in gameplay for an indie game. And shout out to the developers Lunar Software and Rawfree for finishing this game after a decade-long development. So what actually happened? Here's where things get really dark. A few days before your arrival, something unprecedented occurred: a moonquake. Now, moonquakes aren't that unusual on the moon, but this one was different. It exposed something previously buried. A massive fissure opened up in the lunar surface. Cooper, professional as he was, documented his findings and reported them to Union Plaza's Automated Security Network, or ASN, the facility's central computer system. But reporting this discovery triggered something catastrophic. The ASN immediately initiated a facility-wide lockdown. Every door sealed, every exit blocked, nobody in or out.
We need to shut down the ASN. Everyone's scattered or in hiding. And the only two people with security access to the ASN are me and Kay. If I don't make it... Kay's your only shot. Find her. Shut it down.
But that's not even the worst part. Cooper wasn't the only casualty of this discovery. He contracted an unknown illness with horrifying symptoms, severe migraines, unexplained gaps in memory, and vivid, disturbing hallucinations. And here's the terrifying part: it spread. Other members of the Union Plaza personnel started exhibiting the same symptoms. The infection was real, it was spreading, and nobody knew how to stop it. At the same time, the facility's Typo 5 security robots, mechanical beings originally brought from Earth to help maintain the base, started malfunctioning in the worst possible way. They became violent, hostile, unpredictable. Cooper witnessed something that would be burned into anyone's memory. One of these robots casually murdered a resort guest and hid the body as if it was just following its new programming. Station head Kei Koyama, unaware of just how severe the crisis was becoming, made a decision: bring in an engineer to debug and assess what was wrong with the ASN. They thought it was a technical glitch. They had no idea what was really happening. By the time you woke up from isolation, everyone at Union Plaza had already succumbed to either the robots or the mysterious illness. As you explore Union Plaza and piece together these notes and recordings, something terrifying starts happening to you. You begin experiencing the same symptoms that infected the other staff members. Lost time, gaps in your memory where entire chunks of time simply vanish. And then there are the visions, harrowing hallucinations of the moon and something else, a massive, spherical metal capsule looming in the darkness. You manage to fight through this madness and accomplish what you were sent there to do: shut down the ASN system. But the moment you complete this task, something shifts. You suffer another episode of lost time. And when you regain consciousness, you're somewhere completely different. You're no longer in Union Plaza. You've arrived at a facility called the Ward, and this is where the story takes a turn into something far deeper and more terrifying than you could have imagined. The Ward is an older facility, decades older actually. It belonged to something called the Prism Institute, and it has its own dark history. During the 1970s, this facility was ground zero for something called the Canal Exploration Mission. The canal itself is a massive cavern system on the moon, a geological feature that shouldn't exist. But it does, and it was being studied because it exhibited something absolutely impossible: an anomalous psychological influence on human beings. Scientists working in the Ward discovered that the canal didn't just affect the mind. It contained life, alien, fungoid life, something that shouldn't be possible on a lifeless moon, yet there it was, thriving in the darkness. But things got worse. Within the canal, researchers discovered two creatures, Entity A and Entity B. These creatures were utterly invisible to the human eye. You couldn't see them unless you looked through the special CAT module. They were dimorphic, meaning they existed in two different forms or states, and they were reproducing, spreading something across the facility: fungal spores. These spores were the vector, the delivery system for the disease that had infected Union Plaza decades later. Some members of the Prism Institute personnel started exhibiting compulsive behavior. They would enter the canal and never come back. Others died from the disease, and when they died, fungal growths consumed their bodies, turning them into something else entirely. The facility became a graveyard of fungal-infested corpses. Eventually, the Prism Institute abandoned the Ward. They sealed it up. They tried to forget about it, but the problem was never solved. It was just hidden away.
using petty assembly. I miss her. Everyone come here. Union Plaza is the best. I want helping people who have no clue what they are doing. I am happy to stay here. Yes.
Now you're trapped in the ward, and the facility's automated systems are demanding you complete tasks. Strange, unsettling tasks. You're instructed to perform an echography, essentially an ultrasound of the canal itself. And then, most disturbingly, you're ordered to inject something called amniotic brine into a small spherical capsule that's leaking fungal growths. You don't understand why. You're just trying to survive. But as you complete these tasks, something monumental happens. The entrance to the canal unseals. The passage opens up, and despite every instinct screaming at you to run, you venture inside. What you discover in the canal will haunt you forever. There, in the darkness, is the massive spherical capsule from your visions. And surrounding it are the consumed remains of the Prism Institute personnel, their bodies transformed into something inhuman by the fungal infections. The capsule opens, and inside there's another creature, another entity. It resembles Entity A, but there's something different about it, something deeply personal and profoundly disturbing. You hallucinate it as a duplicate of yourself, your own mirror image, staring back at you from the depths of the moon. And then you hear a voice. It echoes through the cavern, through your mind. It says something that will fundamentally change how you understand everything that's happened. Through me, you endure. Through you, I endure. The implication is staggering. You are not just an observer in this story. You are not just a victim. You are connected to these creatures. Intrinsically, fundamentally, the line between self and other, between human and alien, has been shattered. Routine doesn't hand you answers on a silver platter. The story is deliberately ambiguous, designed to make you think about what's really happening. Is this creature truly another version of you? Is the fungal infection some kind of hive mind consciousness? Is humanity's presence on the moon a threat to these alien organisms? Or are they a threat to us? The game explores themes of contamination, identity, and the price of discovery. It asks what happens when humanity reaches beyond its grasp and touches something it's not prepared to understand. It examines our obsession with colonizing space and the consequences when we encounter the unknown. The 1999 setting, combined with the 1980s retro-futuristic aesthetic, creates this sense of a world frozen in time where old Cold War-era space ambitions collide with cosmic horror, and that collision is absolutely devastating. And that's the complete story of Routine, a haunting, ambiguous narrative that sticks with you long after the final scene fades to black. If you're a fan of sci-fi horror games, atmospheric storytelling, and mysteries that make you question reality itself, Routine is absolutely worth experiencing. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this breakdown, please hit that like button, subscribe for more game storytelling, deep dives, and let me know in the comments, what did you think of Routine's ending? Drop your theories below. I'll see you in the next one.